If you've watched the Celtics this year, you know Jrue Holiday's shooting has been a problem at times. Fortunately, that changed a bit over the weekend. 25 points against the Heat marked his season high. 12 assists marked his most involved offensive effort against the Nets at the point of attack, and provided a solution to what could become the biggest hindrance in the Celtics repeating as NBA champions. We know that they rode their shooting last year to the championship, shooting 38.8% during the regular season from three. That dropped to 37% at the start of the schedule, but a 19-4 opening stretch for the Celtics mostly resembled what they did a year ago. So when the Grizzlies arrived at TD Garden in early December, they decided to expose the Celtics' worst shooter to that point. Memphis forced Holiday to shoot 26 times, something he'd never done in a Celtics uniform, and 17 threes marked his career high that night. He only made 8 shots, and the Grizzlies forced him off the floor in the fourth quarter before pulling away with a win on the road. It takes a special defense. The Grizzlies, the Thunder, the Cavaliers certainly as well to be able to pull this off. Forcing the ball out of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum's hands takes great rim protection. And then you have to get out and defend the three-point shooters like Holiday. He's never been known as a liability. He's a 36.9% career three-point shooter. He's able to bully his way to the basket, make great passes out of that area, and his corner three-point shot led the NBA last year. That's been the case less often this year, though, whether due to injuries or minor decline this deep into his career. And unlike last year, when Boston's starting five could all beat you, teams have had more success this year, daring Holiday defeat them. He fell to 43% from the field, 33% from three, and that 60% mark from the corner dropped all the way to 27% after a loss to the Thunder on Wednesday. From that loss to the Grizzlies through the end of January, the Celtics fell to 19th in three-point shooting and went 15-11 over that stretch. More human, more vulnerable without the three-point shot. Celtics got hot again recently, but multiple players are still shooting worse than they were a year ago. To make matters worse for Holiday, he suffered a right pinky mallet finger injury that's going to force him to wear a splint for the foreseeable future. Holiday's struggles became the greatest way that the Thunder took advantage of the Celtics offense on Wednesday. They're already a team that likes to pinch in from the corners a little bit and give up the most corner threes to opponents in the NBA. They have the athletes to collapse and then get out, and it makes sense to do it from the corner because it's the shortest distance to get back to after you try to recover on your shooter. Opponents shoot only 36% from the corners against the Thunder, the 8th best mark in the league. And overall, the Thunder force opponents into the worst three-point shooting, 33%, across the NBA this year with that defense that's one of the best we've seen in recent history. Above the break, they showed 2 defenders against Tatum and Brown, taking the ball away from them and more often forcing it to Horford. Celtics only took 1 corner 3 in the first half of that game, despite that real estate being available to them. The Celtics haven't shot many corner 3s this season. They're 15th in attempts, 16th in efficiency, after leading the league, largely driven by Holiday, who takes most of those attempts for them alongside Horford. And since Joe Mazzulla doesn't like to clog the paint, the Celtics don't cut often either. So with Oklahoma City collapsing their defense, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander sometimes staring at Brown and Tatum in the paint while he's ignoring his man, the Celtics couldn't beat the Thunder from 3 or by sneaking past those defenders to the inside. Holiday shot 1 for 6 in the loss to the Thunder in January, missing all 4 threes he attempted. On Wednesday, he fell to 4 for 10 and 1 for 7 from 3. Celtics have been willing to close with Peyton Pritchard over Holiday where it makes sense. An early game over Indiana and the Grizzlies loss that we mentioned earlier in the video. But against Oklahoma City, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander attacked both guards, shooting 7-12 against Holiday in both matchups and forcing Pritchard off the floor by attacking him on offense. Some hope emerged over the weekend though. The Celtics made a more conscious effort to get Holiday involved, making him a threat against the Heat. And he said after the game,
"You get to get into your bag a little bit deeper, but I've been playing the league for a long time, so I know it's there."
On Saturday, by chance, with Jaylen Brown hurt, Jason Tatum off the floor, and Derek White resting, Holiday got to control the offense, finding Kristaps Porzingis, running pick and roll, and leading the Celtics to a winning stretch at the start of the fourth quarter. If Holiday has the ball in his hands, the defenses can't ignore him, and that's something he's used to. He used to be a point guard, and the Celtics could do a better job by keeping him more consistently involved. If the time comes that the Celtics and Thunder meet in the NBA Finals, they need that old version of Holiday, or something close to it, or it could potentially fall just short of repeating as NBA champions.